On January 17, 1996, Phil Schneider was found dead in his apartment. The cause of death was listed as a suicide, specifically due to a catheter wrapped and tied around his neck. For some, this was a reasonable explanation for the death of a troubled man with a terminal disease, but others were less convinced. Phil had worked for the U.S. government for 17 years as a geological and structural engineer and helped to build 2 military bases, including one in Dulce, New Mexico. In the early 1990s, Phil would begin publishing a magazine called The Alien Digest with his partner Rummel, up until 1993, when Rummel was found dead in a park with a bullet in his head. Rummel's death was ruled a suicide, and this event motivated Phil to expose more of what he knew from his years working for the government in lectures around the United States. In his lectures, Phil would allege a long-term relationship between aliens and the U.S. government, including an agreement to exchange alien technology for the government's cooperation in alien testing of livestock and abducted human subjects. He would also reveal the military's black budget and claim to have knowledge of over 100 alien and human underground bases throughout the country with a high-speed train system between them. But his most widely known claim is the story of the 1979 Dulce firefight. He claims that while drilling tunnels for construction of the Dulce base in 1979, he and other workers encountered tall gray aliens in an already existing underground base, and that the aliens killed almost 70 government workers. Phil and 2 other workers were reportedly the only survivors of the event, and Phil was left with injuries to his hands, feet, and chest from one of the aliens' weapons. Phil expressed some concern about sharing these claims with his audiences, beginning many of his lectures by saying, quote, "I feel directly threatened, and before I am killed, I must reveal this material. If they ever say I committed suicide, you will know I was murdered." So when he was found dead, many were obviously suspicious, including his ex-wife, Cynthia. Cynthia reported that she had received a call about a week before Phil was found, informing her that he had died in his apartment from an apparent suicide. But when they removed the body, she was informed that the cause of death was a stroke. Only after an autopsy was Phil's cause of death changed to suicide, when the medical examiner found something around his neck. That something that she found was a catheter wrapped 3 times and tied in a knot. Cynthia stated that this would be impossible for Phil to do himself due to his permanent injuries. She also found that all of Phil's research and lecture documents, alleged UFO photographs, and notes for a book had been removed from the apartment. I'm torn on my thoughts about this case and the many allegations that Phil made. Some of the claims he made turned out to be true, but others seem so far out that to believe them would require a complete paradigm shift regarding how the world works. He said himself that if it was ever reported that he committed suicide, that it would be a cover-up, but he was also reported to be deeply depressed and was terminally ill at the time of his death. So was Phil Schneider murdered, or did he kill himself? Was he telling the truth about the alien government connection, or was it all a delusion that he was mistakenly reporting as true? Or was he simply a grifter, spinning a kernel of truth with a handful of spectacular lies to further his own notoriety? For now, the validity of Phil Schneider's extraordinary claims, and the case of his peculiar death, remains a mystery. If you'd like to learn more about mysterious deaths and other strange history, I've included links below to videos and other resources. And if you like what I'm doing here and want to support me, please like, subscribe, and share on your social platform of choice. I post new bite-sized videos daily about mysteries, cryptids, aliens, and all things strange to kick off your day. See you tomorrow.